OK, let's start with the Telegraph Sports Supplement. Henry, great to have you here, as we say, for your first appearance on Back Pages tonight. Back to yours, Bellingham, is the Telegraph's take on it. Kane strikes, but Vinicius leaves tie on knife edge. What did you make of the final and the two English stars?
Well, three great performances. One from Musiala, who was outstanding for Bayern Munich in his dribbling. Vinicius Jr was the player of the match with his two goals. And then also, I know we're coming on to our old friend VAR, but the referee, Clement Turpin, was the best performer on the pitch. And he showed how VAR should be used. He was totally in control. He didn't allow any diving. He got the penalties right. He was supported by VAR, not led by it. And I think it's something that PGMOL and Howard Webb, I'm sure they've looked at it closely, and he was outstanding. Kane was good. He took his goal well. He was going right. He was dropping deep. But in terms of Bellingham was a bit disappointing, actually. I know everyone's been sort of hyping up the two English players, and that's inevitable from our perspective. But yeah, Kane was good. Bellingham was a little bit disappointing, and he went off. But the star of the show, from a footballing perspective, was definitely Vinicius Jr, who absolutely destroyed Kim for the first goal with his intelligence of his moving, lured him out of position, and Kroos played that fantastic ball through. And Bayern were on top at that point, but then, they just struck like a cobra. And at 2-2, I think Ancelotti and Real Madrid will be happy with that, because they know they can take them back to the Bernabeu.
Indeed, Vinicius Jr up to 21 goals. I think, David, I said Champions League final by mistake. They're not semi-final first leg, getting a little bit carried away. David, about the mirror here, win the battle of the England stars, keep his cool from the spot. Yes, Kane is the headline there. What did you make of the two England players' involvement tonight? Bellingham was pulled off, wasn't he, in the 74th minute?
Yeah, it wasn't his best night, but we've come to expect such high standards of him, because he excels for club and country at nearly every turn. Don't forget, this is his first season at Real Madrid. His goal-scoring statistics, his contribution all round is just remarkable, and for such a tender age too. He's taken to it seamlessly. He's won the hearts and minds of the Real Madrid fans, the club, his teammates, the executives, and it's something that English football fans should be incredibly proud of. So to him, his family, his previous clubs, Birmingham City in particular, and yeah, wasn't his top performance, but they've still got a second leg in which he has another chance to shine. I saw him trying to put Harry Kane off his penalty, which was a bit of schadenfreude there on behalf of England teammates. And as for Kane, well, we've come to expect him to always hit his straps when it matters most. And this will be a massive motivation for him. He won't want to end this season that was designed, it was meant to bring trophies, empty-handed. And this is their last hope, and they're going to go down fighting whatever happens. The other side of the draw perhaps is a bit more presentable. And so if Bayern Munich can get through this, which would be immensely difficult away in the Bernabeu, we remember Manchester City going there a couple of seasons ago. We see what Real Madrid do, Manchester City this season and tonight. Even when they're dominated, even when they're lacking in possession, they pounce, as Henry said, like a cobra. And so it's going to be really tough. But yeah, the English players who are going up against each other, let's not forget Eric Dyer as well, should be proud of themselves. Yeah,
he died a couple of moments of set pieces tonight, didn't he? Guardian Henry has Vinicius levels to leave semi in balance. You mentioned how well Vinicius Jr played. Do you think he's in a bit of a battle with Kane and Bellingham for the Balon d'Or? Is he in that company at the moment?
Yeah, I'm not really allowed to talk about the Balon d'Ors. I've got the English vote. But look, what we're seeing at the moment, as you both alluded to quite rightly, is just the quality of players. I mean, it's the Champions League semi-final. And as you said, actually, really, this should be the final. Two of the most, great historic teams in world football, and just to sort of see them like that. And as David was saying, I mean, Bellingham, the standards that he has produced this season, he's hit the ground running. What I like about him is that he learns the language. You can see his emotional engagement with the Real Madrid fans. He's not simply there as a footballer. He's there as a human being. He is just living the life in Madrid and excelling on the pitch. So, that's great for England. I mean, you've got England starting 10 and 9 for the Euros there. And when you think of the quality of English players, we focus on those two, but, Phil Foden could easily win Footballer of the Year in England, because we're voting at the moment. Declan Rice as well. It does make you very excited when English attention turns back to German stadiums and the Euros in the summer, the quality that England have, even though it wasn't Bellingham's best night, but as David says, the supreme standards he'd set this season.
David, final thought on the semi-final. What do you make of Real Madrid in terms of the narrative, and how strong is that narrative of the historic success 14 times? Seems like on more than one occasion they're out of these games in the Champions League, not necessarily playing that well like tonight, but managed to pull it around. Is there something that is just imbued into players when they go there, the belief?
Seems so. It's overpowering for opponents. 14-time winners. You could see them going on to do it again. And it's just fascinating how they were completely dominated at the Etihad Stadium and still hung on in there with just remarkable poise and you see teams like Barcelona when they went to Anfield that year and they got turned over in unforgettable fashion. That just doesn't seem to happen to Real Madrid. They were well beaten the year before at the Etihad, but there's just something about them this season that they're not beaten. They hang on in there when they fought back tonight, despite the dominance of Bayern Munich. And then the Bernabeu is going to be an absolute cauldron for the second leg. And it's that shirt, when it's bestowed upon these players, it takes them to different levels. The expectation of the fan base, of the hierarchy of Florentino Perez, of Carlo Ancelotti, the mystique, the aura around the club. It's just like nothing else in world football. Truly, it's phenomenal to watch. And Henry and I have been privileged to be at finals that Real Madrid have won. I remember when the La Decima was their big aim, and that was almost life complete for them. And since then, they've gone on to win multiple more. And I really wouldn't bet against them again, despite them not having the striker that everybody said, they were lacking at the beginning of the season. Vinicius has stepped up, Rodrigo, and of course, Bellingham. Maybe they'll be added to that with Mbappe this summer, and they just go from strength to strength. They're really recruiting well at youth level as well. Juni Calafat is in charge of that. Jose Angel Sanchez too on the recruitment side. And this is the model of world football, it seems, again, with their stadium redevelopment too. It really is irrepressible.
Yep, we look forward to that second semi-final. Should be fascinating stuff, shouldn't it? On Wednesday, the 8th